Hey everyone, welcome back to the Bookshelf Odyssey. My name is Art, and I am your resident book nerd here, wanting to talk to you today about your book bucket list. First of all, is this video, this channel, my book podcast. These are things that I have always wanted to do, but just, didn't do or had excuses as to why I wasn't doing them. So is that one day I decided might as well do it now. It's now or never. So I decided that was probably a book bucket list item. But I've really enjoyed even just starting out on this, but I've really enjoyed the whole process of it and meeting some new booktubers online and finding some new videos and channels to watch. It's been a blast. I've started also a book podcast, the Bookshelf Odyssey. You can find links for my podcast below. On the podcast, I read stories, I talk to authors, do interviews, things of that nature. Yeah, so this is me doing my bucket list, and it's kind of exciting, to be honest. Some other things that I have not yet accomplished I want to talk about. One of my book bucket list items I'd like to do is a 24-hour read-a-thon. I know there are several of them that go on. It's something I thought has always just sounded fun. I don't mind missing sleep. I mean, I'm getting close to being in my mid 40s, and as my wife pointed out the other day, I need more sleep now than I did when I was younger. Something about me falling asleep in my chair all the time, I don't know. But I'd really like to try this sometime, and I think it's going to need to be sooner rather than later, but I think it's doable. I want to do a legit 24-hour read-a-thon, not broken up by sleep. Whether it's from midnight to midnight, or I've seen some do like 3 a.m. to 3 a.m. That probably sounds a little more manageable to me. That sounds like something I would enjoy, and it might help me get through that TBR a little bit quicker. Let me know down below in the comments if you know of a good 24-hour read-a-thon group or something. Otherwise, I'll do it by myself. That's fine. But I think it would be fun to involve other people. I might do one this Victober just because it just feels like a good time of year to do it. Another book bucket list item I'd like to do, and this one sounds pretty mild, but I'd love to go to an author signing. I have some books that are autographed by authors, but I haven't met them in person. And on my podcast, I've been able to meet online a couple of different authors by doing Zoom interviews and things. But I would love to go and meet an author, especially one whose work I enjoy, and just to meet them, just to communicate to them face to face how much I appreciate their work. I have a Ray Bradbury book that's autographed. I bought off eBay, and it looks like his autograph. Sure, people might have faked it. In my mind, I'm just going to pretend it was autographed by him. That's fine. It's one of my favorite things that I own. One of my favorite books that I own. I just wish I could have met him when he was still alive. He is an author who had just had a tremendous impact on me. So I would love to go to an author signing of one of my favorite writers, and I'll try not to fanboy too much over them. Another book bucket list item I would like to do sometime is to go on a bookstore weekend vacation. Go to a town that is maybe known for its bookstore, known for its bookstores. I know there are a couple of towns in the United States and even overseas that are famous for having a ton of bookstores in their town. And I'd prefer, if they were used bookstores. I like getting used books. I mean, not only are they cheaper, but they do help the local businesses and that kind of thing. But yeah, I think that would make for a fun getaway weekend where you just go bookstore shopping and you just sit and read for the whole weekend. That might sound boring, but I told my wife about that one day, and she said, that sounded like an ideal vacation to her. And I told that to my kids as well, but they thought that sounded pretty boring. So I guess you all know who I'll be taking on that vacation, right? But just the thought of going away, staying in a nice hotel with a huge stack of books next to you, and the only time you leave your hotel room is to go to a bookstore. I mean, that just sounds like a lot of fun. Maybe that sounds boring to you, but if you're watching this channel, I suspect that you think that would probably be a good weekend too. So that's on my book bucket list. And then this is one that probably won't happen, at least not for quite a while yet. And I want to go to England and do a book tour in England. And what I mean by that is go and visit all of the places of my favorite authors. Go to the Charles Dickens Museum, to the Gaskell House, to the Bronte Museum, to uh, all these different houses and sites of where my favorite Victorian writers wrote and where they lived, and just tour around and see those sites. That's going to take quite a bit of money. That's going to take quite a bit of time. And it's going to take this pandemic to be over. So a lot of things up in the air. It might not happen until after our kids are out of the house, or maybe after even retirement. But that's something both my wife and I would really love to do one day. So that's on my bucket list, and especially on my book bucket list. Now, if that's something that you've done before, I'd love to hear about your experiences. I know some of you live in England, so that's not that out of the way for you to do that. I suppose we could do something like that here in the United States, but there's not as many authors who live here in the States, or who lived here in the States, that I am as passionate about as I am for some of those Victorian writers. So, that would, I'm just thinking out loud now, but that would make an ultimate Victober, wouldn't it? To go to England during October, do the Victober reading challenges and tour the sites of all your favorite Victorian writers. That would be ideal. So once I become a mega conglomerate of booktube channels and podcasts, and I can take all that sweet ad revenue money to to my vacation fund, right? Yeah. That I'm being a little sarcastic, in case you didn't catch that. But yeah, that's a bucket list item I'd love to do one day. I guess a final thing would be something that's ongoing now, and that is to only read the books I want to. And what I mean by that is, for a while you get caught in, and I was too, caught in this idea of, I have to read this because it's a classic, or I have to read this because everyone else has read it. I'm thinking of making a t-shirt or a chart or a picture or something that says something along the lines of the 100 books you need to read before you die. And then it says number 1, any book you want. And then number 2, it says something like A Tale of Two Cities. That would be my list of books you should read before you die. That's really made my reading more enjoyable. To say, oh, this book is a slog. I have to no, I don't have to finish it. If it's not capturing my attention, you know what? This book wasn't for me. So I'm just going to get it out to somebody who would enjoy it. And that's fine. And I know a lot of you have come to that conclusion. It's from watching booktube videos that's one of the things I've learned from watching your videos and listening to book podcasts, just that encouragement of, it's okay to DNF a book, even if it's a classic. For me, that would be like The Great Gatsby. I know what the plot is. I've heard about it enough. For whatever reason, that's a book that just doesn't appeal to me. And it's on the list, it's on all these lists of, these are books you should read. And no, I'm good, thanks. One day I might pick it up, but yeah, it's just books like that. If you don't want to read it, that's fine. So read what you want and enjoy it. Enjoy your reading experience. I don't know if that's really a book bucket list item, but it's one of the approaches I have to reading. So that seemed like I just put it on here. I would love to hear some of your book bucket list items. That's a hard phrase to say. Let me know below in the comments what your book challenges are, and I'll see if I can add to my bucket list as well. If you haven't had a chance to listen to my podcast, the link is below. Last week, I interviewed Dr. Diane Duffy from the Gaskell House Museum, and I finished up reading The Gray Woman by Elizabeth Gaskell, a great story. So if you want to listen to that, the audio links are on this channel, but you can also listen to it on my YouTube or on my podcast page as well. That's just go to bookshelfodyssey.com and that'll take you to the podcast page. And then this week I'm talking to Naomi Kritzer. She wrote the fabulous short story Cat Pictures Please, as well as the recent one Little Free Library, which is up for a Hugo nomination. So you might want to check out that story and that interview that's coming up. I will also have an interview with a poet coming soon, and some other authors and things planned. Also below are some ways you can help support the channel. One of the best things you can do is to like and subscribe and share with your friends, families, neighbors, enemies, everyone. Just walk up to total strangers, hand them your phone and say, "Here, watch this video. It's fantastic." All right, maybe not, but you know the drill. Like and subscribe and all that. It really helps us out, and I appreciate it so much. Thank you for all of my subscribers. At the time of my recording, I'm now up to 63. I think I saw. I can't wait to see what it's going to be at the end of the week. My goal is to hit that 100 subscriber mark sometime, and I don't really have a time limit on that, but that's the goal I'm shooting for, is to get 100 subscribers. So then I can celebrate by changing the channel URL from a bunch of numbers to my actual podcast name. I guess you have to have 100 subscribers for that. So, help me meet that challenge. So in the meantime, take care, be kind to yourself, and just keep reading.